So this is my week off. We've been doing some work. Like today I'm working on the Ken photos. So you can see everybody's laid out. I have a few in the kitchen that had some problems that needed to be taken care of before photographs. So Busy Ken's shoes. I started to scrub them already, but they look really scuzzy and dirty. I don't know if you can see it on camera.
I feel like I scrubbed the crap out of those.
They probably are just stained. And then Free Moving Ken, his legs are like very like scuzzy. We think maybe there's a bit of mold on him. He's had that problem before, so it might have nothing to do with the Great Flood.
Sometimes the older dolls get powdery residue because they're leaching plasticizers, but usually that's like pure white, whereas that kind of looks a little bit like
Green.
gray, so I'm assuming it's...
But another time he got moldy because he had his shoes on in storage, and I guess he hadn't drained properly through these holes in his feet. And remember he had like white fuzzy mold?
Yeah, well that was definitely. And that got on the Ken balls near him in the container.
And then I cleaned him already, but his mouth was so dirty that I was like, no, he can't be photographed like that. This is Tropical Ken, by the way. So Shelly just had me strip Cupid. I was in the container yesterday getting Party Hair Draculaura, and I noticed that Cupid's hair feels like powdery, and her bangs look and feel pretty nasty too. These guys had the same problem earlier in the week, but Shelly rewashed them. What happened is these ladies, they had really bad glue before, so Shelly put them in the Oxy solution, but she was getting frustrated with them, I guess, because they just kept needing to be redone. So she ended up putting in too much OxyClean. And when she was in the After High container the other day, she noticed that these guys had like that kind of problem with the like really bad, like, I don't know if you can tell, but it like looks powdery. So that's how they looked, and she just rewashed and boil washed them using no OxyClean this time, and they're fine. Now we need to do Cupid.
For dolls that have like recurring mold, mildew, things like that, or that came from a very disgusting environment, the only thing that really kills mold, to my knowledge, is bleach. Like that's what I used on the carpets downstairs. I've heard this from a lot of sources. I did research online. So normally if a doll has a little bit of mold, or, you know, maybe I put them back prematurely in the container, and this rarely happens, I'll just wash them in hot water like I normally would, make sure they air out. And because the conditions in our basement are normally not conducive to mold.
No, because with the wood stove down there, it's very dry.
Right, and even in the summer, it's not usually a problem. However, Ken has a recurring problem with this. Like, this is probably the third time now that he's had this issue. So I will, for dolls like him, put like a few little drops of bleach in some hot water and really dilute it, and then let him soak. Obviously his like head isn't the issue, it's just his legs because they're rubbery. So I wiped his whole body down with bleach and a rag, diluted bleach and a rag, and then, but he's gonna soak for a little while just to kill off, because I'm thinking that maybe there's spores that need to be killed, and that for whatever reason his plastic is just really a good environment for it. So definitely do that. I don't really like bleach. It bothers my I'm really sensitive to chemicals, but there is a reason for it, and if you're concerned, definitely dilute some bleach and soak the doll. If you're concerned about their face or their hair, just don't soak those for long. Like, do it very diluted and for a very short amount of time.
But yeah, I'm glad we ended up doing this Ken container, because after the flooding downstairs, we did notice a few dolls that looked like they might have mold on them. It was random dolls in random container. And it was usually, a trend we did notice was that it was usually older dolls.
From 80s and earlier.
Yep, from the 80s and earlier. And in the containers that were darker, like the bigger containers.
Not the clear containers.
Exactly.
Most of my dolls are in clear containers now. Except the ones that, like Monster High, that need the big ones. But the Monster High dolls were all fine.
And I didn't notice, I've been in that container quite a few times since the flood. And I haven't noticed anything. Because those dolls are newer. It seems to be like older dolls in dark containers. And it's random dolls here and there. It's not like a whole container affected. So I'm glad we checked this container. I mean, this, like she said, this is like the third time.
I don't think it really has anything to do with the hot water heater. I think it's literally just Ken and that bin that he came from was disgusting, so.
Yeah, we got him in the 70s bin on New Year's Day, 2012. He's a dear old friend. Well, I thought I would film a clip to show where we're at right now. Shelly is at the farm. Why am I not with her? Well, we let our oil barrel run out, so we can't wash dishes or do guinea pig laundry or even take showers because we don't have hot water. So I'm here waiting for the oil man to hopefully show up. And she didn't want us to miss them because they can't just deliver the oil and leave a receipt because you need to prime the furnace. Yeah, so ding dong. Today, instead of photographing Ken, because we finished him this morning, we're working on Stacy. So I will show you where we're at. So these are the Stacy dolls that we already put away because we're done with them. These are the ones that still need to be photographed. This room is like blown apart as always. These are dolls that needed pieces of their clothing washed. So a couple of days ago when I was doing something, I don't remember if I explained this earlier, but I didn't realize my finger was bleeding and I got a little bit of blood on some of the Ken dolls in her clothes. Well, I apparently did the same thing with Stacy because I was getting Renee out for a picture. So of course Renee had a little bit of blood on her sweater sleeve, and it was in such a small spot that it's probably why I didn't notice it before when I checked the dolls. I checked her to see if she had blood on her because I knew I had her out when I had done that. Janet though, her clothes are just raunchy. I don't honestly think they've ever been washed. She's one of my childhood dolls, and so is Renee, but I was a few years older when I got Renee. I was pretty young and Shelly was young, and Janet's clothes were just gross. And then Lindsay over here, her outfit was also pretty raunchy. Todd had a little bit of blood on his suit, but I actually got that off. So what I should have done yesterday is tried the damp rag I was using just to wipe down the dolls and seen how much of the blood I could get off, because I got it off of Lila. She had some on her tutu, and you can't even tell now. Todd's suit, but I got that all off. My Polly Pocket Whitney, who I put away, that's wearing a fashion pack with like a satin skirt, that came right off. And I actually got off the little of Renee's stain there was, mostly came off. Everybody else's clothes were dirty for another reason. The only reason Todd's clothes are being washed actually has nothing to do with the blood. It's because there's a big gray stain, which I'm about to check on now. Hot water and OxyClean treatment like I did the other day. And you can see the stain is mostly gone, and it's been there for a few hours. So I'm gonna rinse this and put it downstairs with the other clothes. And it's Janet's outfit. Shelly would kill me if I dropped this in water. Like, I would actually be dead. I can probably rinse this too, because this has been in for at least an hour. The entire time we were eating lunch and then some. So I'm gonna leave that solution I made. It's a little of our homemade laundry detergent, some vinegar, and a little bit of OxyClean. This was just straight up OxyClean in hot water. And the water is actually still pretty warm because that's how hot the water was when I started it. What I want to do while Shelly's gone is actually work on a thumbnail for a video that we're going to film. Hopefully this week while I'm on vacation. But I don't want to be downstairs too long in case the oil guy comes, because that's the whole reason I'm not out at the farm with Shelly. I don't want to miss the oil man. And in case you're wondering, what made me think to use this hot water and OxyClean, Shelly's probably said it before, is when we got Shelly's American Girl Caroline, there was like something that looked like chocolate milk stains on the dress, and this is what got it out. So if you have a really stubborn stain, scrubbing it with a toothbrush or letting part of the garment soak really works. I'm going to rinse this because she'll get mad if I don't. She's very fastidious, which I'm obviously not, so. Oh yeah, it is dark. Hello, Clyde. It's a little bit dark, but this is the chinchilla. Clyde. Oh my god, it's...
Do you see Charlie on top of the hammock?
Oh yeah, I see Charlie.
Joey.
It's too dark to see Charlie, but that's Charlie on top of the hammock.
Oh, okay, it's the light eating.
And this is the girls eating. I'm gonna try to open the cage and get an actual picture of Clyde, but I'm afraid he's gonna run.
Hello, Carter. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you won't. Oh, you waxy and yeah. And you won't see Bonnie. Actually, you can see Bonnie. Oh my God.
Oh, she's eating her corn.
She loves these corn cobs. So we buy them from the chinchillas, and she likes them so much that she doesn't even care that I'm videoing her right now. This has never happened. Never. I'm gonna turn the record off, put it back in live, and try to focus. I've been spending the past like 3 or 4 hours working on our intro to our childhood doll series photo. So Shelly had the idea that instead of using our Real Friends dollhouse with the coffee table behind it to create a second level, Shelly said, well, why not use the actual dollhouse that we keep the brats in? Because it's like wide enough layout, we can fit furniture, but open enough where you can see everything. So 4 hours of work, dressed the dolls, pulled up some of the accessories in the container. I got this done. So my favorite part is this garden. I just thought it would be really pretty. What I did was I used like coloring book pages that Shelly colored, and that's actually an old folder that I hid certain spots on. Spots that had like a sticker or something on them. And then calendar pictures, which is harder to see. I'll back up a little so you can see better. The reason I picked those calendar pictures back there and these like more floral art forms over here is this is supposed to be more garden and that's supposed to be more barbecue pit. So I thought the rocks with the water fountain over it and the calendar where you can see like the distance in the background, the trees and the lake and some mountains. If our Barbies were real people, apparently they'd be really rich because, I mean, this is a really fancy yard. So this is obviously going to be a lot cuter. I'm going to put flowers out, lots and lots of flowers, food all over the barbecue area. And in the bathroom, I used the same place that I used before for the bathroom. It's a Real Friends bathroom. I think it's dated 2000. So it's about the same age as our house. It's not in the best shape, but we loved it, which is why we picked it for this photo in the first place. And then I decided to use the bookcase from the Real Friends dollhouse and the Bratz bed like I did in the other photo.
So are you very pleased with yourself and the mess you've made?
I think I have a right to be pleased with myself. I mean, it's so fancy.
So this is a photo. I was kind of concerned that because it's like a dollhouse that there would be dark corners, but it's really sunny out right now. So, and there's snow reflecting in here,
and
which
I
is great.
picked some paper that would help bounce off light.
So here we have the barbecue pit with Leroy and Esmeralda.
So fancy.
Then we have Kidcore Katie, more Kidcore Katie, and Sweet Treats Barbie in the garden.
I added strawberry from the last original photo.
And then down here we have the teenager's bedroom. So we've got my Winning London dolls. This really cool bookshelf that's from the house we originally used. Then we have Chloe and Yaz. Gotta have some pictures of Yaz up on the wall, and Mary Kate and Ashley wouldn't be.
And Chloe.
Their rooms if they weren't totally vain. Then we have the bathroom. Rachel secured with lots of putty. Then down here we have the living room, so we have our piano, muffin, a nice little couch set up with Kevin, Meg, Margie, Kennedy. That's My Little Pony Megan doll, in case you're wondering. I just call her Kennedy because that was her name. The fridge set up, Becky, Nova, Robin. So cute. And then what I was doing while she was finishing that, this is,
Take it all apart.
this mess is, these were all the dolls that were in the dollhouse, that were in that container. So I'm reshooting their faces for Flickr because I noticed, as I mentioned in past Dolly Diaries, the new background just makes the colors of their faces a lot more vibrant. and that means their earring photos have to be done too. So the way I've gone about it, so I'm reprinting my inventories anyways, because these are out of date. As you can see, our printer didn't work for a while, so there's tons of sticky notes. I have put pink stars next to all of the dolls that have earrings, and obviously I have duplicates. So if you look over here, Star Singer's Yasmin, I have two of her, but they also each have a pair of handmade earrings, and I photograph all my earrings for Flickr, so unless they're literally the same thing. So I put stars there just so I remember not just to grab the face. And I did that for all my Bratz lists. And that's why there are some dolls in here, because they either already had their faces taken, like on the Mike, Sasha, and Fiona, because they used to be photographed together, but then I split the variants up. And then these are all duplicates, doppelgangers, who don't have handmade earrings, and I already have one of them out here to have their faces done. So that is how I've been keeping track. And as I photograph each doll, because all my Bratz are going to take a while to get through, I'm just going to highlight over them or like cross out over the star so I know that said picture has been taken. So at Walmart yesterday, I got some things for my dolls. I had to kill extra time in there because Colleen was at a staff meeting. So normally I'm in and out of Walmart in like 45 minutes. But I had to kill like over an hour in there. So I spent a lot of time looking, and I've been really needing just like hair scissors just for my dolls, because I have professional shears from when I went to cosmetology school, but they're old and I try not to use them on the dolls because I cut people hair with them from time to time. So this is just like a cheap set. It was $15 about for the shears, the thinning shears, and then this comb, which I didn't need, but this will get used. But they didn't have any separately sold thinning shears, and I do have professional thinning shears too. Like I said, I try not to use them on my dolls. So I've been wanting this set for a while, so I finally got it because I've been doing a lot of photo retakes and stuff and trimming doll bangs, and it's really important to have like the precision so that there's no like straggly hairs when I do my facial close-ups. And then I haven't bought jewelry supplies in ages, and I get packs of these beads all the time. Like, not all the time, but when I buy them, I tend to go for these because they're only $2 and they come with a really cool variety. But they've changed them up a bit. They have pom-poms in here. Legit pom-poms, and I love me some tacky doll jewelry. I think we can all know this now. I mean, I've had people call my jewelry tacky before. I know it's tacky. Like, I own that. It is meant to be gaudy. So I'm really excited about making some really tacky jewelry. And also they had the pom-poms in just about every color, so there was like green, yellow, red, white, light blue, dark blue. They had like a bunch of colors. Purple? They did, and I almost got the purple, but I liked the actual beads that they had better in the pink one, because there's like the butterflies that I ran out of. And then orange is obviously my favorite color, and I don't have a lot of orange stuff, and I really liked the stars in here. I used up all my stars like this in the past, so I think of Tropical Splash Barbie when I look at these. So I got those, and I'm going to put them away.
So would you say your jewelry supplies have changed a lot since you filmed your jewelry supply collection video? Back when you started your channel?
Yes and no. I feel like I buy a lot of the same staples, like if I'm buying it new from Walmart, because it's where I get like all my beads. And like even Lisa's air freshener she used to give me, there's like tons of them. So a lot of it's kind of the same.
I like those colorful letters we got in that kids bead kit.
Yeah, and I've gotten things like that, but I don't buy, honestly, like jewelry supplies all that often for like what you would expect, because I don't like to have too many like supplies in general because it's overwhelming. I feel like having like a good selection but not like too much of a selection. It makes me have to like think harder about what I want to do. It's different. I think it's just organized more differently. Like I have
Right, because that bead kit, you know, you have less of it left, so you're able to consolidate.
right, and that's why I have like a bunch of stars and stuff combined, because when I originally split up this case again, I consolidated because I was running out, because most of these came from packs like this, and then like things like this just came from the dollar baggies of mismatched stuff, and you can see like I have random scraps of things. So tomorrow was the last day of February, so I thought I'd check in with you guys and let you know how the monthly goals are going. I once again finished every single thing off of this list, and I did it in like the second week of February. And it's not because I didn't set enough goals for myself. I was just really on point this month with getting things done and staying motivated. A lot of these are kind of the same basic things as I mentioned last month, but something new here would be that I was starting to retake my facial close-ups for dolls, and you guys saw me in my last episode of Dolly Diaries dismantling the Bratzilla's display, so that crossed over with this maintenance task, taking their pictures and dusting. I managed to do both in the same time, and then I will finish putting clear contact paper over all my backdrops, calling Skipper Doll Ellie's head got fixed. I've been continuing to print out lists for my doll inventory and like just working on them on the computer. These are the videos I've uploaded. I actually have one right now. Obviously Dolly Diary footage. This next one is kind of like a secret project, but that's a thumbnail for the video that's going up today. We had this really cool idea planned, so I did a collection video, and then these are all the extra things that I did. So some of them were simpler tasks, like creating a Harry Potter album. Like my babies list, my kids list, like of all the dolls they made. They were handwritten, but they were never transferred to the computer, so I did that. You know, things along those lines. A lot of like inventory reformatting. I made some new backdrops. I worked on taking more of those faces. Some of these were photos Colleen retook. The country labels are for on Flickr. Like you can see, I'm in my editor here. But I put for Mattel dolls what country they were made in on the photo, because there's often like country variants and they can look different from each other. So I've been changing how I label those, so that was what that note was about. And then we did all of the Ken photos and all of the Stacy photos in those albums, which was a really big accomplishment. So I uploaded a video today of me resetting my Bratz display in this Barbie house. And someone actually remembered that this doll was called Pina Dana, like that's her, I guess, name around here. And they were interested in knowing the story behind her, because it's kind of an inside joke that nobody else is going to think is funny, I can assure you. So I got this doll in the fall of 2011. My dad got me a lot of used Bratz dolls off of Craigslist. So the first Dana was from Craigslist 1 and she's from Craigslist 2. I don't remember exactly when this whole persona evolved, but she was on this shelf, and I was taking photos on Flickr in 2012 probably. There was like some kind of tag about your dolls being at a party or something, and I used her as one of the props in the photo, and I kind of put her hands up like she was partying. And I guess after we took the photo, I don't remember if I forgot to put her hands down or if I left them up, but her hands stayed like in this upward position. So Colleen and I had this joke at some point that the reason her hands were up is because she was partying all the time because she was drunk. And ever since then, that's kind of been her like persona, that, you know, she's at prom, she's wasted, and her hands are up in the air. And the name Pina Dana came from when I did this hairstyle on her. It reminded me of a pineapple. And I don't know, the name, the drunken personality. She's just kind of like a wacky doll, and that is why her name is Pina Dana. A lot of my dolls have strange names, like we have Chloe Monroe over here because I gave her a Monroe piercing, and that's just like the nickname Colleen gave her. And then, where is she? This Fiona here is Bean Fiona because we found a kidney bean in her hair, and then like there's Mean Fiona. That's Tennis Fiona up there. She has to sit on display because when she stands, she throws other dolls off display, and actually we had to separate her from Totally Tattooed Megan because she especially liked to throw her off the shelf. So yeah, it's just one of those like weird stories that no one else is gonna find funny, but it's just like this inside joke that she's partying all the time. So I have some dolls I need to put away from a transformation video, but I popped in to show you Toralei because she needed her arm tightened. So I got her over the summer, and you guys probably have seen her in the video where I show how I fix Monster High limbs. This was my first time actually fixing a doll like this. I didn't have any previous experience, so obviously there was kind of a learning curve. And after that video, I wanted to like tighten her up a little bit, so I went to reheat up this metal, and I ended up making this hole a little bit too wide. You can see here that it's kind of charred looking. That was my fault. So if you have a problem where you made the hole a little bit too wide, what I did is I put a little bit of glue on the inside of the hole and used a toothpick to kind of stir it around. So it didn't fill up the hole, but it added a little bit of layer around it. So now when I put her arm on, it's a little bit tighter, so it won't pop off in storage. That's why she was up here, because her arm fell off in storage and it went to the very bottom of the container, so I had to dig it out. But it can still be pulled off, it's just tighter. I'm going to end this episode of Dolly Diaries here because I have quite a bit of footage and I don't want this to drag on forever. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.